Alright guys, welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It's me, TheBladeGamer, of course, and in the last episode we finished up the Ice Cavern and got the Iron Boots. In this episode we're going to enter the Water Temple. Now I already have the Iron Boots equipped. If not, you're going to want to equip them at this time. And jump down here beside the teleportation pad. Now you may notice there's a cage there. Well, what can I do to open it? Well, simple answer, use the hook shot. And you can just walk straight through that gate. I don't know why. So now you want to take off the Iron Boots, and we're officially in the Water Temple. To most people, this is the most annoying or hardest dungeon in the game. To me, it has the hardest boss, and is probably the most boring temple in the game. Now, I do want to mention that yesterday I was recording this, and I could not finish it. Like, I got all the keys that I could, the small keys. Yet, I needed a small key to get another small key so that I could advance further in the dungeon. And there was no way that I could fix it, and it really just kind of bothered me because, you know, what was I supposed to do? But right here is a block, and here's a hookshot target that you can get to later. So apparently I ran not into the glitch, but the design flaw that Nintendo put in the game, where you can run out of small keys in the Water Temple, which means you can no longer progress any further in the game, which is pretty bad. So the first thing you're going to want to do, but it's optional to do it at this time, I just like to get it out of the way, is pull that block so that you can push it from the other side later. We will be getting to it much later in the temple, but as of now, that's all we can do. So now what we want to do is equip the Iron Boots again and sink to the first floor. This is the second floor. I just happened to land there, luckily. And these enemies are kind of weird. They look like sea urchins, but they're like rocks at the same time. When you enter here, you see Ruto. Oh, you, if I'm right. Link? You're Link, aren't you? It's me, your fiancé, Ruto, Princess of the Zoras. I never forgot the vows we made to each other 7 years ago. You're a terrible man to have kept me waiting for these 7 long years. But now is not the time to talk about love. I'm sure you've already seen it. Zora's domain is completely frozen. A young man named Sheik saved me from under the ice. But my father and the other Zoras have not yet. I want to save them all. I want to save the Zora's domain. You have to help me. This is a request from me, the woman who is going to be your wife. Link, you have to help me destroy the evil monster in the temple, okay? Inside the Water Temple, there are 3 places where you can change the water level. I'll lead the way. Follow me, quickly. So, what kind of baby would a Zora and a Hylian make? Eventually you're going to see Hyzoras or something, like, you know, Hyzorians or something, I don't know. Anyway, so you want to take off your Iron Boots and float up. Now note that on the second floor, which is coming up right here, there is a destroyable wall. Many people miss that, and it contains a small key, which is essential to progressing in this dungeon. So once we can raise the water level to just the second floor, that's what we're going to want to do. So right here is the royal family symbol, so we want to play Zelda's Lullaby to see what it does. And this will completely drain all of the water to the first floor. Now right here is a room full of these rock/sea urchin things. The easiest way to kill them is by shooting them with arrows to keep your distance from their rolling attack, or wait for them to return back to rock form and then swing at them with their sword. With your sword, excuse me. And this will give us the dungeon map, of course, because they always give you the dungeon map first if you explore all of your options. And we got the dungeon map. So this is a pretty big dungeon. It's 4 floors, but most of the 4 floors take place in that center room that we were just in. Alright, so now you want to jump down. Link will scream like he's going to get hurt, but actually doesn't. And what you want to do now, while the water level is lowered, is take out your arrows and shoot these torches in the corner. And light them. You have to do this fairly quickly, but it is it is required, if I'm not mistaken. And that will open up another room. And here we have clam things, called shell blades. Its internal muscle is its weak point. So what you want to do is wait for it to open its mouth, and then use your hook shot or arrows to destroy it. Now, I like to not waste my resources, so I usually go for the hook shot, but occasionally, if I want to keep my distance, I will use the arrows. But then again, like, you know, I don't see any point in wasting any resources, unless it's a difficult situation. So now that we've lowered the water level, we now have 3 routes that we can take. The first route, which is over here, in the south if I'm not mistaken, has a destroyable path. Well, a destroyable floor similar to the one in the rock maze of the fire temple. So now we're going to want to equip our iron boots. This is what I'm talking about when it gets annoying for some people. And then here will be a clam, which we will get rid of so that it doesn't get in our way when we come back out. Or we'll just roll past it and just take a few hearts of damage. You know what? I'm going to get rid of it. So now we want to float up at the end of this corridor. Now, it is very important to be wary of your ceilings in this temple. I had a fail later in this temple, which I will splice in. But it is hilarious. So always, if there's no route out, always look at the ceiling. That is my advice to you. My sister's laughing in the background because she knows what I went through. And she was also freaking out because she thought I broke the temple. Now in this room will be a gold sculptula. Now, there's a diamond switch on the other side, but the only way you can activate it is if you spin attack. So it is crucial if you want this sculptula to spin attack. I believe this is the only instance where spin attacks are required in the game. Actually, I take that back. There's one other instance where it is required in the game. Anyway, there's the Sculptula, the first one of this temple. There's 5, like there are in most of the older Link temples. So now we want our iron boots back, and I'm going to equip our Ocarina because we don't really need the bombs too much in this dungeon. And now we want to float back down. Luckily for me, since I'm a patient person, I don't really mind switching between the iron boots and the Kakiri boots too much. So when I see people like raging because they have to take time to pause the game, I understand that it's an annoying inconvenience, but at the same time it's like, you know, you're having fun with this game, you don't really need to freak out about it. So right here is a block that we can push and get that out of the way. But yeah, there's several block pushing puzzles in this temple, so it's crucial to push and pull all of the blocks whenever you see them, because otherwise you're going to regret it later. So of course take off the Kakiri boots and float upward. Now my advice for people that are having trouble with this dungeon My advice is to always, and I mean always, explore your options before changing the water level, and before using small keys. Like, for example, it was raised on the 3rd floor when we entered, so since I swam across and pushed that block, I don't have to do that later when we raise the water level yet again. So it is very, very important to explore all of your options before using small keys as well, because otherwise you might be missing a small key, and then you can't progress any further in the dungeon like I did. Now what you want to do in this room, and this is the room where I had the fail, which I will splice in a bit, you want to get to this side of the room and land on this tail. Now use the hook shot to hit the diamond switch within the dragon's mouth. And also hook shot really quickly to this target so that you can get behind the gate that just opened. And here will be some more clams, but take the damage because you need to get in here and float up to the top. Now this is what I'm talking about, that you need to be wary of your ceilings. Because when I got in that cage, I thought I was stuck in there. I didn't realize that there was a ceiling. And I was freaking out because I thought that I broke the dungeon. And I will be splicing in that footage now. But in here is a switch on the dragon's mouth. And you have a short amount of time to do this, but you want to get in here and kill these clams. If I'm not mistaken, you want to kill these clams. How do I get out now? Seriously, how do I get out? Did I seriously break this? Oh, okay. I was like freaking out. Did I seriously? I thought I. Seriously, I thought I broke this dungeon. But anyway, there's a small key, and if you do not come and get the small key, you can't really progress, so it is important that you do this. And not fail at it and realize that there's ceilings in these places too that are open, and you will find what you need. Pretty funny footage, I know. Yeah, so I like this room. It's not really that hard to do, but I love that dragon statue. I just like the way that looks. It makes me wonder if there was a dragon or something that used to haunt this temple. It's just really interesting. Now, there's nothing in the bottom of this room, so don't waste your time just jumping down to the bottom. If you really don't want to, I don't advise it at all. Just hit the switch with your arrows and jump back across. Now, it is important to jump before the water geyser gets completely to the top, or else you will not be able to jump on top of it. Alright, so one thing I don't understand about this, and I forgot, like, right there, if you saw, there's a hookshot target that you need in order to get up. But at the same time, you know, why couldn't they make the concrete, or whatever you want to call it, slightly lower so you didn't have to use the hookshot to get back up? I mean, it's good that the hookshot has a use, but at the same time, it's like a minor inconvenience, because your automatic response is to take off the iron boots, and you can't do it in that case. But unfortunately, we've run out of time for this video, guys. In the next episode, hopefully, we'll progress a lot further into the Water Temple. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. This is TheBladeGamer. See you next time.